Welcome on in, music lover. Let's kick this video series off with a question. Do you feel like there is something missing from music these days? If so, you're not imagining it and you're not alone. I definitely feel this over the last decade or two, that music has really changed. Actually, the problem is it hasn't changed very much. It's pretty boring. It's very same. It's sort of been relegated to being background music, where as a music lover, the thing I loved about music is connecting emotionally and deeply to music and to the people who made it, the stories, the backstories. So in this video series, we're going to explore what it means to be a music lover in this modern age, how we can reconnect and find really great music and have a deeper experience of music. Because as we know, it's become a very surface, shallow, superficial kind of experience of music. With streaming on your phone, you can just have every song in the world in your pocket. I feel like we maybe have lost appreciation for the power and the role of music and why we love it so much. So that's what we're going to explore in this first episode, is the role of music, the music lover journey, how the music industry got broken and got between artists and music lovers, what life would be like without music, and then we're going to talk about at the end how we can renew this music ecosystem. So if that sounds good, stick around. But my name's Mijo. I'm a singer-songwriter from Melbourne, Australia. First and foremost, I am a music lover. That's how I got into wanting to write songs and wanting to express myself more. And I went on to record a number of albums, tour with ℾ𝒿ℴ, Missy Higgins, Tommy Emmanuel, Claire Bowditch, many other amazing performers. I'm writing music, I'm releasing albums, I'm an active artist. It's what I do. I love it. If we go back in time, all the way back to tribal times and the role of music, this is super important to understand, to give us context as to why we might feel like we're missing something in the modern age and how to reconnect to it. Because if we understand the power of it and the parts of it, then we'll be able to plug back into those things and revive them. If we think about tribal times, the role of music was that it stored lots of information about, where people could go to get food, where they should not go, how to read seasons, all this sort of practical information. But it also was important for rituals. It also brought the tribe together. It was a communal thing that everyone did together and everyone participated in it as well. That is deeply in our DNA. That's why when we get together at a live gig, why we get so activated. It's tapping into something very deep. And the evidence that I have for this is when you get a baby that is like 1 year old, 2 year old, and you put some music on and they start dancing to the music, start moving and trying to sing along and things. No one has to tell them like, hey, start like trying to bob to the rhythm of this. Hey, try to sing along. Hey, can you enjoy this song? You don't have to tell them anything, right? This is so deeply in us. It's also another reason why we have invented this thing in the modern age called music therapy, which is really, what that means is you're deficient in vitamin music. And so we've got to bring music into your life so that we can help you express yourself and reconnect with yourself. Basically, my thesis is this is not like this just a form of entertainment. It is that as well. But I actually think it's this deep human need. And when it's a need, we need to fulfill the need. Otherwise, we're sort of not fully healthy. There are these 5 areas that I've identified as being super important in this process. The first is the song itself, obviously. It's the music. It's the thing that we connect to. It's the vibe of the music. It's the feel. It's the rhythm. It's the lyrics. It's how it's expressed. All these things we connect to. The second part of it is the musical world. That's what we get when you have a collection of songs. So in tribal times, they would have had a collection of songs that tell a story and build a world. In the modern age, that's more like an album. When you experience an album and you revisit it over and over, it builds this world that you go into, and it's a deeper experience of music rather than just random singles. The third part is the live experience. Music used to be shared live together, and everyone was involved in the process. So there wasn't a separation of like artist and audience and then some middleman taking money from both ends. It was a live experience that we all had together. The fourth part is self-discovery and expression. The power of music is, even if you can't express something, if you hear a song, it will generate this understanding within you and give you context for your own experience and your own life. That's extremely powerful and important. It might also inspire you to express yourself. That's what happened in my case. You know, I listened to music and I thought, I want to do that. I want to express my experience. Then the fifth part is the music lover community. This is also that sense of belonging and being connected to a community of people who get you. Because maybe not all the people in your family really get you, but one of my favorite things is when you meet someone at a party and you find out that they're into the same band that you're really into. You are like this. You're like brothers or sisters from that moment forward. You're like, oh my God, I love them too. Have you listened to this? Do you know this? Da-da-da-da-da. So there's this real powerful experience that happens when we have this shared experience of music and of a music lover community. So they're the areas that create this healthy ecosystem. The song, the musical world, the live experience, the self-discovery, and the community. When we're connecting to all of those, then, we feel healthy. We feel like we have this fulfilled music lover life, as one way to put it. So, with all of that context, let's go through and build out your music lover journey. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and I just want you to reflect on them. If you do have a pen and paper, I'd ask you to write this down and then read over it and notice if it feels true to you and if you connect with it. The first question is, what artist did you first get obsessed with? So I'll ask you the question and then I'll share a little bit for myself and then we'll move on. So for me, this was definitely Pearl Jam. When I was 14, I got obsessed with Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder. I just devoured all of their music. I would just be in the lounge room with the CD on, just like screaming my guts out and just connecting to it, which is exactly what I needed at age 14. Next question. What was your first live music experience? What was the first time that you went to a concert or you went to a show that really blew your mind? So for me, one show that really comes to mind was a local Melbourne band called Ⅎ𝒾𝒿ℴ. And I'd seen the entire show and I thought, wow, this has been really fun. But then in the encore, they played this kind of obscure song. And the last part of it is sort of repetitive and hypnotic. And I remember closing my eyes and just listening to it and just being transported somewhere completely different. It was like I went into a trance and then I came out of it and I was like, oh my God, this music, live music thing is so powerful. I want to go see more live music. Question 3. What was the first album that you bought for yourself with your own money? So mine was another Melbourne band called the Fauves, and they're not a super well-known band, not a huge band. And so I had to order the CD in, and then I came back a week later, they still didn't have it. I came back a week later, I got it. Finally took it home, took me, I had to get the bus home. Took me a couple of hours to get home and put it on the CD player and just listened to it over and over, read the lyrics, got so into it. And yeah, back in those days, you kind of had to earn the privilege of listening to music. Then the last question I'll ask you is, what has music given you? So if you reflect back, how has it helped you? How has it transformed your life? How has it gave you an insight about your life? Has it given you pleasure and joy and connection? For me, it's always been this thing that brings me back to myself when nothing else works. So if I was a bit out of sorts or, a bit confused or lost, I would normally get in the car, put some music on and just drive. And then after a little while of just listening to music like that and singing along, and I would just feel so centered and connected and like everything was fine. So they're the questions for your music lover journey. I would love for you to put that together and leave it in the comments below. Now let's get into talking about from the awesomeness of music to where things kind of went wrong. And basically this happened about 100 years ago when recorded music sort of came into the world. And that was when an industry started to spring up around music in a much bigger way, a big commercial way. So the way I think about this ecosystem is that you would have rain that falls down on a mountainside. It flows into a river, flows to the ocean, evaporates up into the sky, that flows over to the land, rains down again. And we have this cycle that's balanced and everything gets nourished and everything works well together. When the industry came along, in this analogy, it's like they built all these factories along the river and they just started to suck out all of the valuable resources and then pump back in toxins back into the river. In my world, that's just really bad pop music, lowest common denominator, catchy stuff that doesn't actually really touch you, deep in your heart and soul. So what happened from that point on is everything became focused about singles. Even back in the day when albums were a big thing, it was still singles and radio airplay, get people to buy the single, and then people will buy the album, even if there's only 2 or 3 good songs on it. In the modern age, it's more about playlists have just become the number one thing. There's no connection to the artist. The artist and the fan are mostly been separated, and there's no community around it unless you go to a live show. But it's hard to go to a live show for a playlist. There's no backstory. There's no meaning. There's no context. There's no community. There's no real experience. There's no contribution. You're not involved in the process in any way. And it's all fragmented and it's just a hopped up experience of music that we're not actually made for. It's like we're just being fed sugar pills, or it's like a Pez dispenser, just going like, boop, 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 and you're just eating Pez, which is tasty, but it doesn't sustain you. It's not that holistic approach, right? And you can't sing along to 10,000 random tracks on Spotify. And humans were not designed to connect with a new artist every 3.5 minutes. We're just not designed to do that. So it makes you think, why is this? Why is it this way now? It's because it's not designed with you, the music lover, in mind. It's not designed for you. You are the product. They're selling this thing to you. So I, as an artist, make a song. It gets uploaded to a server in Sweden. They did nothing to create that song, but then they will turn around and they will sell it to you. And royalties and streaming royalties for artists is only going down over the years. And prices of subscriptions for you is only going up. So you have to ask, who is this industry for? Is it this holistic ecosystem that's nourishing everyone fairly and in a really healthy, sustainable way? Or is it just a couple of people making money? So on that point, Spotify last year made $24 billion, basically selling other people's music to music lovers, and just not paying the musicians very much at all, and then just collecting your subscription fee. So if I make a song and it gets 10,000 plays, which is, that's a fair amount of plays for like an indie song, I would make about $24, $25 from that. Spotify will literally make 1 billion times more money than I do from that single a billion times. And they didn't create anything. I mean, they created a platform, but they didn't create the song. So it's a pretty crazy system, right? So we have to start thinking about new ways of connecting as musicians and artists, how we can renew and restore this ecosystem in a way where if you love streaming, you can still do streaming. It's not about like getting rid of it, because I actually think it's an amazing technology and product, and to have access to the world's music is pretty amazing. It's just that it's one part of the 5 parts of the ecosystem that we need to tend to. And that one's sorted. So now we really want to shift our focus as to how we can create a better system for music lovers and musicians. So I reckon let's leave it there for this video. I would love for you to share your journey in the comment section below, and look out for the next video, which is coming out in a couple of days' time. And we're going to explore way deeper how artists and musicians can connect, and how we can remove the middlemen and sort of start to renew the flow back into the music lover life. And I'm actually super excited about what the future's bringing, and I hope you'll come along for the ride. So thanks for checking this out. Check out the next video. Leave a comment below. Big love to you. See you in the next one. Bye.